that's where you know there's actually being a bonus area of the game is for Blunder right there once you beat the two areas right there. So yeah, if you go back to a Funky's place, he'll actually give you another vehicle to go. He'll give you another vehicle once you give him the bandage. How does a bandage help out with the rest of, you know, us getting the vehicle? I'm not sure exactly. But anyway, we still got the hovercraft, so that's, yeah. Seems legit that we use a bandage to actually get another vehicle. Okay. I don't know what he used it for, but let's just smile and nod and let's just move on. So yeah, here's the hovercraft, and its main thing this one has is that you can now like go over the rocks around the water. So yeah, that's pretty useful. And if you go around there, you can find another cave, which is called the Concave. I'm not sure why it's called the Concave, because the actual concave would be something that has like a horde of bananas, but this doesn't really have that. So I don't know what gives with this one. But oh well. Let's just move on and watch me fail doing this memorization thing a whole bunch of times, because I failed quite a bit. Quite a bit. Okay. You know, seriously, here's the proper actual, like, completion of the puzzle, the memorization puzzle, and getting the banana part. And I don't think I've said this in the previous recording, but the memorization is our... Whoa, sorry. I don't know if you actually heard that or not. I kind of moved the microphone right there by accident. Sorry. Where was I? Yeah, the memorization, like, puzzle right there, puzzles are all random. So if you're thinking of actually like copying my go-throughs of the puzzles, don't, because they're all random. They're not exactly like there's no like fixed puzzle to it, so you're gonna have to like memorize it yourself. And right here we now have two choices we have a choice of which stage to go for, either for Mechanus, or I think, if I read that correctly, or if I remember, it's Cotton Top Cove. And if you actually go around these rocks clockwise a few times, you might uncover, if the game actually does that anytime soon, you uncover the bonus area. You can even call this the last area, technically, because it's like, this is technically the last stages you're gonna have to go for Chrono Tunnel. You can even go for this right now, but I don't recommend, if you're not experienced with this game, don't go here just yet, because these are like the hardest stages of the entire game. And yeah, they definitely save it the best for last, because they're quite difficult. And this game series is pretty notorious for its difficulty, and, you know, finding every little detail of you know, getting the items and stuff, and 100% in the game. It's kind of like Battletoads for notoriety, but instead of like platforming difficulty, it's more very notorious for 100%ing rather than, you know, platform. I mean, yeah, sure, the platform is really difficult, I'll give it that, but it's not as bad as Battletoads, of course. So yeah, so here's the first stage of level 3, which is Fireball Frenzy, and the main gimmick, the mechanic of this one, or the gimmick, or whatever, is, of course, fireballs being shooten by these like really open-eyed owls, and they're all over the stage right here, and you have to avoid them, kind of. Just overall, yeah, you just have to try to avoid them, of you not getting hit. That's pretty much the main mechanic of this stage. Almost every stage has this like unique mechanic to actually go through, and yeah, I guess this is kind of like one of the reasons why I really like this game more than like Donkey Kong Country 1 or possibly even 2. Oh yeah, overall just 2 and possibly Donkey Kong Country 1 is because, you know, almost every stage in this game has its own like little mechanic, and you have to like figure out like everything, how to like go through it. You know, starting out and, you know, getting used to the mechanics and stuff on the stage, and thinking some of them can get really challenging sometimes. And in the last area, as you saw earlier, the bonus area, it gets some of the mechanics get a little ridiculous. And there's one specific level I will have to commentate on, because I saw right there, I think it's like either the second one or the third one. But overall, once we get to a certain stage in the bonus area, I'll be commenting on it, how ridiculous the mechanic is right there, or what you have to do. So yeah. Okay, so what you saw earlier is like I overall tried to committed suicide because I missed Boshi Barrel up there, and yeah, I pretty much overall got it. And here's, I think this guy is pretty much new to us, is the Spider, and he's pretty new in the Donkey Kong series at the time, you know, in Donkey Kong Country 3. Now this guy is pretty new, and like the main like controls and mechanics of this one is shooting this webs as an attack and shooting these platforming webs in midair. How does that exactly work, of webs like holding out in midair? Don't ask, I don't know it either, and it's just a video game. It's just this suspension of disbelief over like this whole like mechanic right here. So just smile and nod, and just move on and just play the game, because this overall just is not, that mechanic just overall realistically doesn't make any sense. It's just a video game. You don't have to like have everything realistic to actually like to make a game good. More realism doesn't mean that the game is actually better. Just overall the gameplay, either realistic or not, it really depends on what the game is. And sometimes the story can, you know, help that out as well for making the game good. But in most cases, I think the gameplay is more important than the story. Because, you know, video games, of course, you have to, you know, actually be able to play the game without making it feel like it's really jerkish. So, yeah. Okay, that's enough of that rants, jeez. I'm making a whole bunch of rants at this recording, I mean, jeez. Well, I guess I have more things to talk about now than before, because in the actual live recording, I just mostly commented on what the stage, of what you have to do throughout the stages, and yeah. Nothing too interesting happened. And of course, the only thing happened in this one. Oh god, my screensaver actually popped up, or my screen got blacked out right here because I haven't moved my mouse in like 27 minutes. My bad. Or like in 20 minutes overall. Whoopsie. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah. The only thing like good happening in that recording is, you know, the reactions, like yes. And yeah, as you see right here, I beat the stage, but of course I missed a Boshi Barrel, yeah. And over here is Bazooka. Another bear Bazooka. And fought in the Crimean War. Yeah. I see what you did there. Nice ending right there. Yeah, this guy, of course, that's pretty much overall with most of the bears in this game is related to, you know, with the banana boards. And what you have to get for this guy is actually a cannonball for Bazooka's cannon, Big Bessie, and where you're gonna have to use it for. You see that dangling thing up there in the right? Yeah, that's where you're gonna go to, and that's the cave, the actual cave to the actual banana bird right there. Okay, let's go to the next stage, which is demolition drain pipe. It might pass or whatever. Like, go to it. There we go. So yeah, this one is a little insane on the difficulty, I would say. Yeah, the other mechanic right here, of course, as most of the stages of this game is now, this mechanic is actually related to just like hovering. I wouldn't say exactly hovering, just this like ski thing that keeps going to the right and just scrolls automatically. And yeah, you're gonna. And this, some of the bullshit barrels of how you have to get through, and with the enemies in this game, in this stage, and with the platforming, it's a little ridiculous, and you're gonna have quite a bit of trouble right here in this stage. So if you feel like you're doing a bad job in this stage because you've done a lot, don't be, because this level is legitimately really hard. So don't feel bad about yourself. Just, you know, I'm actually not getting like messing up just one thing, because there's a good reason as to why you're actually like not doing well, because just look at this, like what is going on right here. It's really ridiculous of what you have to do for this one. So yeah, but that's the end of that stage. And I have some bad news, of course. As I said earlier in this recording, I missed another Boshi barrel around the stage, where you'll see it in part 3 if you don't know where it was that I missed. So yeah, whatever. At least I got the DK coin right there, so I'm not exactly disappointed about that right here, right there. And yeah, cutting ahead, we're going to the next stage, which is Ripsaw Rage. And why is it called Ripsaw Rage? Well, it's because of that thing down there. I mean, just jeez, look at the size of that freaking saw right there. Wow. How does that thing cutting the freaking tree vertically and not horizontally as you would normally should? It just, wow. That thing looks really deadly. And yeah, the main mechanic of this stage is that it's an auto-scrolling level and you have to avoid the bottom. But instead of a pit, this time, it's an actual saw. It's a saw you have to avoid from death. Something related to death down there while auto-scrolling. So yeah. And what you saw earlier right there is like how I died right here. Well, I thought I had to go like up there with like Kitty or Dixie and, you know, lift one of them up, because I thought there was like a sort of a secret area thingy or passageway. But no, it's just another platform. But I didn't have to do that at all. It's just another passageway, and there was a thing at the right, and I didn't have to do that at all. So it was kind of a mistake on my part. And yep, I missed that one. But no worries. If you do it just right, if you do it fast enough, you can get that barrel and get the B again. But if you go a little too slow, if you have like either Kitty or Dixie, just try the tanking maneuver and using those invisibility frames, and just overall try to get to the barrel like that. And yeah, as you saw it the second time, if you do it just right, if you mess up, if you can do it, you can get the coin without too many problems. Of course, I have problems right there if you don't do it just right. But if you do it just right, you can get that overall you can get that coin if you do it just right. Okay, stop about that, you know, commenting about the whole thing. Let's just move on. Ugh. Man, I'm commentating non-stop throughout this, and it's actually that non-stop commentary is making my mouth pretty dry right now. I mean, I drank a little bit of water before recording this, but it wasn't that much, so whew. I'm actually having some breathing problems because I'm talking non-stop, and my mouth is getting pretty tired of talking about this whole thing, so I kind of want to slow down, but also at the same time I want to have everything out before the time limit is reached of a recording. So yeah, yeah, of course I have plenty of time. I still have like around over 20 minutes to actually still commentate throughout this, so I shouldn't have to worry that much, but still, I need to fit in some stuff in this one, so yeah. That's what I'm doing, is that, I guess that's just what I'm doing right there. And you saw that bee right there, I can't remember what's the correct way to actually doing that. I guess you have to find a barrel somewhere to actually get the bee right there. But I'm not sure where it is, or I don't remember how do you get to it. So, yeah, it kind of has a lot of problems right there. The only other way that you have to get through it is using the tanking maneuver against that bee, and just get into the barrel, just that. But of course you have to go through it the first time, otherwise you won't be able to get back to it. Because of you can't find a barrel and the bee gets in the way, and there's no like other DK coin or DK barrel you can get once you reach there. So yeah, it kind of sucks about that right there. And of course I came back to the wrinkly save case to actually, well, of course, save to see what progress I am in. It's around 32% out there. I didn't have a really good look right there of the other percentage. Sorry if I messed up right there, but yeah. Now let's go to the next stage, which is Blazing Bazookas. And of course it's another factory level, but except with fireballs, now it's with guys in the foreground. If my pencil would ever actually get to the stage, come on, thank you. Because the mechanic of this stage is this time is in the foreground with you. Well, not exactly in the foreground, it's just mostly at the same ground as you are, with guys shooting these barrels, almost every type of barrel, or just overall every type of barrel at you horizontally. And yeah, that's the main gimmick of the stage, is you have to platform quite a bit, and a lot of ways to do it by, you know, jumping on barrels continuously, avoiding barrels like the TNT barrels. Just overall, this level is just all barrels. And yeah, what you have to do right here, if you want to actually 100% the stage, is that you need to get this TNT barrel and avoid the other TNT barrels that this guy is getting, to get yourself another spider partner. I'm sorry for not remembering this guy's name. I don't remember either the elephant's actual name or the spider's actual name, because their names aren't exactly memorable like say Rambi, Squawks, or On Guard. So yeah. And by the way, is that another thing about this game is that Rambi is actually not in this game, since of course he doesn't have any uses except for ramming things and finding like these hidden caves. But of course this game doesn't have that, and the only use it had is just ramming on enemies, and that's not exactly that useful in some cases. If it's just that you would, in some cases you would just mostly avoid ramming, so they just replace it with either replacing with Spider and the Elephant. So yeah, and you actually see them quite a bit in this game because they're quite new. I mean, of course you see like Squawks, On Guard, and the other bird in this game, but and what other bird I'm saying, well, we'll see that in the next stage, I think. But I don't think you use them as much as, like, say, with the spider or the elephant. So yeah, because it has more uses, because this game it's like their debut appearance, and just they have a lot of uses. They have more uses than, you know, the previous ones. So yeah.